Imagine waking up in an office. No coworkers, no boss, just you, and a voice in your head. A voice that tells you exactly what to do. And you can listen or you can rebel. You have choices, sure, but either way, you're still playing into someone else's plan. And that made me start to wonder, what if that's how real life works too? There's something about the Stanley Parable that lingers long after you close the game. It's not the branching paths, the fourth wall breaking humor, or even the narrator's constant commentary on your every move. No, it's the feeling that no matter what you do, you were always meant to do it. That you were never really in control. And that's a hell of a thing to realize. To those who are unfamiliar, the Stanley Parable is a game where you play as Stanley, an office worker whose entire job consists of pushing buttons when he's told to. Sound familiar? Relatable, anyone? One day, the instructions stop, his coworkers vanish, and a mysterious narrator begins guiding him, telling him exactly what to do.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
The narrator explains that Stanley, confused by the sudden silence, decides to investigate. He walks out of his office and heads to the meeting room. And right here, just a few seconds into the game, the Stanley Parable reveals its true genius. Because the moment you reach two open doors, the narrator chimes in.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And now you're faced with a choice. A seemingly real choice. Do you obey? Do you listen to the voice and follow the story laid out for you? Or do you disobey and go right, carving out your own path? It feels like freedom. It feels like you're deciding something meaningful, but you're not. Because every choice you make, every defiant step, every silent act of rebellion is already predetermined. The narrator has a response for everything. Go right instead of left, he gets annoyed, scrambling to improvise a new story around your disobedience.
It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see, we went down right.
Try to break the game, escape the map, he acknowledges it, almost like he expected you to try. Every action you take, no matter how unpredictable, has already been accounted for. It's a cruel, brilliant illusion. And it's exactly what makes the Stanley Parable such an unsettling experience. At first, it's hilarious. The narrator scolds you for disobeying, he gets passive-aggressive, he starts trying to force you back onto the correct path.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Okay, wait, what?
Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Wait, what? What's over here?
But beneath the comedy, something unsettling starts to creep in. The laughter fades, and you realize you're not just playing a joke, you're trapped inside it. The moment you push against the system, you realize it's pushing back. Take, for example, the infamous escape ending.
Here's the door.
You think you've broken free, you've outsmarted the system, gone off script. Something about leaving the script is incredibly unsettling, by the way. Walking in silence. But you keep going on, and then, just as you think you're about to escape, it starts the game again. You start wondering, how many of our choices are really ours? We like to believe we have free will, that we're in control of our own lives, but how much of that control is an illusion? We live in a world with invisible scripts, social norms, expectations, pressures that dictate our choices before we even make them. Get a job, work hard, buy a house, retire, follow the path, and you'll be happy. That's what we're told, that's what's expected. But is it really our choice? Or are we just following a script like Stanley? Because the Stanley Parable presents a terrifying paradox. The closest thing to freedom in this game is compliance. The moment you resist, even in the smallest way, the game punishes you with absurdity and confusion. And that's when you start questioning whether resisting ever mattered at all. But ironically, when you do just listen to everything the narrator says, and you finally do get to escape, it feels empty. Because the only time the game tells you you're free is when you stop exercising your freedom. This is why the Stanley Parable is one of the most brilliant pieces of game design ever created, and one that I keep going back to for inspiration as I work on my own games. Big announcement coming soon, by the way! This game doesn't just ask the question, it shows you the answer. It doesn't need a 5-minute exposition dump about free will that interrupts the gameplay. It doesn't have a lengthy monologue about the nature of choice before resuming again. Instead, it lets you feel it. You think you're making decisions, you think you're rebelling, but the game subtly pulls the rug out from under you again and again until you're left questioning whether you were ever in control to begin with. And maybe, just maybe, you weren't. Maybe we never were.